Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new around here, I upload videos on the best tools, tech and tactics that I use for improving my online content. And we've had some pretty big news in the social media sphere. Instagram today have announced IGTV, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at sort of some of the features that this thing is going to have. Do I think it's going to kill YouTube, maybe even possibly kill off Snapchat completely now? Because I mean, I don't know, I don't really see Snapchat really surviving that much past here. I just think too much stuff is sort of taking the users away from Snapchat, but we'll get into that in a minute. And how I'm also going to be creating IGTV videos, but from my older content, how I'm going to be repurposing that. And so I'm going to be breaking that down in this video. And if you're watching on the live stream right now, thanks for tuning in. As I say, this is a replay for you guys if you're watching on video, so thanks for clicking on. So let's just jump straight into this. What is IGTV? So Instagram announced this yesterday with this post at one of their events, and they said that they were going to be announcing this right here, which is 2 standalone apps. So you're obviously going to have your usual Instagram, and now we have this second one here called IGTV, and they're also adding a new button up here just above the stories feature, which you can click and it's just going to basically take you to the same thing as the standalone app. I don't know if people are already going to be using the standalone app, because if it's already inbuilt into Instagram, it's kind of like, why would you do that? I know that a few years back, I don't know if you guys remember, when you would have your phone, you would have Facebook and you could use Messenger from within Facebook, and then you also had the Messenger app. And Facebook were getting, you know, these people that split between the two, and then they eventually stopped you being able to use Messenger inside of Facebook, and they pushed you completely over to the Messenger app. It's the only way that you can use it on your phone now. And so maybe we'll see something like this in the future. I think that they should just keep it all in one app. But at the same time, I kind of feel like, for me, when I wake up in the morning, I go through my phone, I go Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then like email and all of that sort of stuff, and I make my way through them, and I don't sort of like feel like I can get on with my day until I've checked every single one of those. And so maybe with them having 2 standalone apps, you'll kind of check Instagram and look at stories and the feed and maybe your DMs and all of that stuff, but then once you come out of that app, you kind of feel like, oh, I'll check out IGTV, and then you may actually spend more time there than if it was just all in one app. One of the biggest things that came out of this talk really is that Instagram now has 1 billion people. I mean, that is an insane amount of people. I think that if you're an online content creator or you're trying to like get big on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, I think Instagram should be your number 1 or your number 2 at this point. I think YouTube's having a lot of problems. Facebook is pretty much dead. I don't think anyone really likes using it. And Twitter, no one, there's never been like a big star that was made from Twitter. They're always made on like Snapchat, with like DJ Khaled making his career explode on there. You know, YouTubers, so many, Instagrammers, so many, Vine had many, but Twitter, no one really sort of broke out on there. And so I think with there being now a billion people, I think that Instagram should be one of the biggest platforms that you take. And I think because of IGTV now being quite new, now is probably the time where you can really capitalize on this and make yourself have a big audience. The thing that I think is really interesting about IGTV is that it's long form and it's only vertical video. IGTV will actually look like this when you click the button or you open up the app. It just automatically plays in this screen. And you can just swipe like you would with stories to get to the next one. And these are always vertical. You can't have square video or anything like that. One of the most interesting things about this is that you have the For You section, which is the default when you open up the app. And in here, you're going to get a mixture of both people that you follow and also random people that Instagram suggests through the algorithm. So this is a great way maybe for you to be noticed. I think that this is pretty cool and is an effective way of actually being discovered, because with YouTube you can get discovered very easy because of the search terms, whereas on Instagram it's very hard to break out. You only really have hashtags and sort of like story tags, and if you get mentioned it's quite hard to like organically grow on Instagram. So this here is actually the video trailer, if you want to call it that, for the app that was launched when they announced it. And I kind of just think that Mark Zuckerberg, obviously he has Facebook, and Facebook owns Instagram, and all I can see with this is that he just wants to dominate online video, because I forget, it was kind of like a couple of years ago now, something like, is it F8? Is there like Facebook yearly sort of tech conference that they do, and he announced something like by 2020 80% of the internet is going to be video, and I can kind of see that. I mean, you've seen how over the last sort of like year and a half, you open up Instagram and it's either memes or just video. I barely ever see any posts from friends or family anymore. It is just a content site, and even though they said they're going to scale that back a couple of months ago, I just think that it is going to be completely video, and I think he knows that it's not just going to be sort of on a monitor or watching it on the TV, it's going to be very much on the phone. I think this is just another move towards that. When people were battling for live streaming in like 2015, 2016, it was between Periscope and Meerkat. I don't know if you remember Meerkat, but that was around at the beginning, and it was sort of between those two apps, and Periscope won, and Twitter bought it, and it sort of became this thing that everyone used. And then all of a sudden Facebook came out with Facebook live streaming, and then you also had Instagram come out with Instagram live streaming. And you gotta remember, we've only had sort of Instagram live streaming for like a year and a half now. Like, if you think back to 2015, you kind of just think it was there, but live streaming is actually quite a new thing, really, when you think of the time frame of social media. Live streaming apps and all that stuff haven't been around, really. We used to have like Justin.tv, and then that eventually went into like Twitch TV, but there's never really been anything for mobile. But with that and all of the other videos, it just seems that like Mark Zuckerberg is just using all of his resources to just dominate this market. And we've obviously seen that like Instagram copied Snapchat, and it did a lot of damage to Snapchat, really. I think most social media stars just left. I have not even really liked Snapchat since that point, because people just didn't use it, and that included people that I've followed who are like celebrities and online influencers, and then also my friends and my family. Like, they just never used the app as much once they had Instagram, because Instagram had all of these other benefits like the feed. And now you just think, well, they're now going to have IGTV in there as well as live streaming. They're just going to dominate the market and take everything up. And because it's obviously going to be split between Facebook for sort of like that older generation, like the middle-aged people and onwards, he's sort of got that, and then Instagram is for the young people. Mark Zuckerberg sort of has like a domination here. He's got a bit of a monopoly. He has so much. And it's obviously going to be mostly online video, and if 80% of the internet is going to be video, you can kind of see how he's sort of like bit by bit just taking over the internet. One of the things I think that really damaged Snapchat with Instagram was that it allowed you to search for people in Instagram. With Snapchat, you had to have their username or their snap code, and so everything was like in-house, and you were just boxed into the platform, and Instagram sort of like opened that completely. But I think with IGTV, I don't think it will take over YouTube, simply because Google and YouTube are the #1 and the #2 biggest search engines, and we sort of know this already. If you want to ask a question, who do you go to? Google. And if you want to see a video, you go to YouTube. You wouldn't be asking questions in Instagram or Facebook. And so I think, as I sort of like process this, I think Instagram and Facebook will be more for entertainment and informing, but YouTube will be more about the educating. It'll be more about answering the questions that people have. So we had Facebook shows start to roll out a couple of months ago now, and obviously with IGTV coming out, I think that both of these things will take away from YouTube. I think that's because people only have so many hours in a day, and naturally the fact that these platforms exist, logically people are going to be splitting their attention between all of these apps, all of these different services. You know, that's just a fact. If you introduce something, more people are going to spend their time on that, and so there's less for everyone. And so with IGTV and Facebook shows coming out, that is just logically going to take more away from YouTube. But like I say, YouTube is massive. It has over 10 years of content uploaded. I think it's like 300 hours of video uploaded every hour or something like that. And this is just so much content being uploaded to YouTube over like the last 13-14 years, whatever it's been since YouTube was sort of like founded. They've got such a big head start, and I don't think that they're really going to be able to top that, because they have all of that history. They already have established people on there, and I don't think people would cut things off completely. I think if they were going to do it, they would spread their content over multiple platforms, or sort of like leave it a little bit but not completely. And so I think YouTube's still in a good spot. I don't think it's going anywhere. Google definitely have a lot of money to pour into YouTube should it start to die. YouTube's biggest problem is that they don't look after the creators. They're more worried about what advertisers and TV sort of companies think and what they put on their platform. And it's understandable with where they want to go, because they want to lean more into long form TV content. But people were telling YouTube for years about live streaming, how they should be getting onto that, especially in the gaming sphere, making that better. They ignored it. Twitch came in, made a better platform, and then everyone switched over to Twitch. And now Twitch is much bigger, and YouTube is actually worse off for it. And so I think that that's also what's happening here. If you don't look after the creators, people move. That's why Vine crashed. All of the Viners were not being taken seriously by Vine. They all moved to Instagram and YouTube. No one used Vine. Vine died. It ran out of money to be able to operate. You know, it's just one of those things where you have to make sure that you're looking after the people who created and built that platform, and the people who made YouTube were the people who uploaded, and now they're being taken over by Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Periscope, you know, all these different things taking up their time. And so the biggest difference between IGTV and YouTube is that IGTV is vertical. And I think if you're in Uber at home at night and you had like your headphones on, I feel like you'd probably open up IGTV and just sort of like hold it vertically and just like look at it and watch this long form content, compared to sort of like putting your phone into this sort of horizontal way and watching it in landscape. I feel like vertical is actually going to be much more better, simply because it does fit naturally in the hand like this. And I think that people will watch this when they're waiting for someone, or if they're going to be in a longer period of time like an Uber, because of IGTV having the mix of both short form content, whether that be 2 to 5 minutes, or long form of like 20 minutes up to an hour. I think that having that mix, people will be able to use it in both instances, and that is going to take away from YouTube to a degree. I do think that with YouTube, they are now moving more towards a TV structure. We've seen that YouTube TV was announced a couple years back now, and has been really getting developed with many different partners. And landscape videos just seem to feel more like TV and cinema anyway, or at least I feel like that. I feel like if I'm sat at a computer screen, I'm more likely to watch a 15-minute video than if I was watching it in vertical on my phone. I kind of put myself in the mindset of having Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram videos in vertical. And so with having sort of like long form content, I think YouTube want to have it as a TV set. I feel like if you look at your analytics over the last few years, you'll see that more people are watching on TV now, because they are allowing you to be able to do this through smart TVs. You also have Apple TV. You have a lot of different ways. I think even the Amazon Fire Stick does this now, even the Chromecast. So there's a bunch more ways that YouTube are now getting involved with this, but with long form content. And I think that's where YouTube's really going to lean towards. And I think Instagram is going to allow the option to have long form, but I feel like people aren't going to be taking up an hour in sort of vertical. I think it's going to be more of a 20 minutes max sort of thing, and it will still be 3 to 5, 6, 7 minute videos that are more polished than if they were on like an Instagram stories or an Instagram highlight. IGTV will just appear to be smaller and snappier content, but will actually take up as much time as YouTube. I think people will realize, oh, IGTV, I'll just watch that. But that actually has the mixture of short and long form. But I think people will mentally just put IGTV as being a short form, whereas you go to YouTube for long. Like if I go to YouTube, I'm expecting like 10-minute videos sort of in my subscription box or on my homepage as sort of like the minimum. The average time has been like 10 to 15 minutes. Whereas I kind of just feel like even though in IGTV is going to be an hour, I think I'm still going to see this as short form content. So as you can see here, I have so many YouTube videos here that I've uploaded over the last few years on just this channel. And I also have a bunch of gaming content over on my other channel. And I just feel like what I can possibly do to get ahead right now on IGTV is to probably just re-edit a lot of the popular videos and get them out that way. I don't think I should spend time trying to make Facebook exclusive shows right away. I think I should take stuff that's already high quality and re-edit that in like Premiere Pro. This is why you should keep all of your files, by the way. You should always keep your files and your sort of your project files, so everything's already edited, because things like this happen. You always need to know how to repackage and redistribute, because things like this happen all the time. And I'm just going to go ahead and do like a travel film that I have. I'm probably going to be doing a few Instagram tutorials. I'm going to put them on IGTV and see how that performs. But you know, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's what I'm going to be doing over like the next day or two. I'm just going to be repurposing it all and put it up on IGTV, even though it's YouTube content, and I'll probably say in the actual video itself on IGTV, oh hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Even though IGTV is calling it now a channel, I still feel like people will think YouTube channel. But at the end I do say thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and leave a like. Those things aren't on IGTV, so I think people will know. But hey, I might be able to edit around that. But with IGTV, I've seen a few people already have sort of like exclusive shows, but with very, very minimal editing. So people have done sort of like a weekly Q&A show, and they'll have like a green screen behind them just with different cool backgrounds like space, for example, and it just sort of like makes it seem that it's not just your usual Instagram stories where you're recording it and speaking straight into the camera. It's actually a bit more edited, a bit more polished, but it's still kind of bare bones. It's not going to be as intense as sort of like the video editing that you get on YouTube. I've seen people sort of do loads of sort of like travel videos already, and I think if you're like a vlogger and you had sort of like, you could just edit a sort of like an unboxing video, for example. I feel like someone like Unbox Therapy, I think he will kill it if he does Instagram IGTV videos. I just think he will. I feel like Unbox Therapy will be a huge show there, along with people like Hot Ones. I feel like Hot Ones, if they were to do that, they would explode even bigger than they do on YouTube. And YouTube, they get like 20 million hits a video. You know, they get a lot of people come in. But in IGTV, I think it suits itself more to being like a 15-20 minute show that people will watch. So Sean at Hot Ones, he's got some work to do. But that's pretty much it for this live stream and this video if you're watching on replay. Thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to give a like, I really do appreciate it. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's at Jamie Whiffen. You can find that out, just put up a graphic here. So if you find that there, you'll be able to come follow me on there, and you'll be able to see all what I'm doing already. And also, if you want to see how I made some really cool Instagram stories like this, you can actually find a link in the description to a playlist where I go in and show you how to make all of these cool things. And there's actually a lot of helpful tips in there that will actually allow you to create really cool looking IGTV videos. So that there is it. If you want to see more from me, I upload videos on the best tools, tech and tactics that I use for improving my online content, and occasionally I'll do a little live stream on news like this, sort of like just give you my thoughts. But that's it. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next one.